Hello and welcome back to another quarantine episode of my ArundelBiz podcast. I'm GraySon Orfe.
And I'm Allison Akers. We are your hosts from Arundel Economic Development. Just like all of you out there, yes, I'm sick of my house. I'm sick of quarantine. Just keep in mind, though, that while we've started to move into the opening phases and all of our business, yay, we're really happy for all of our businesses that are starting to move through the phases. But the pandemic is not over. Physical distancing is still more important than ever. So just keep that in mind as you're out and about. But we do kind of want to just start off this episode by acknowledging the events that are going on around the world. 2020 honestly just feels like it's full of insurmountable challenges to businesses and the human race alike. Coronavirus is an international public health issue, but our own Anne Arundel County Health Department has also declared racism as a public health issue.
And with that, I mean, let's be real. We can all do better. We should all be trying to do better. But here we do see you and we do hear you. And we do understand that right now with our country and the tenseness that's going on right now, let's understand that one, we need to love and respect one another, but always, always, always stand together against racism and against those things that will divide us. So we're not where we're supposed to be, but at least we're not where we were. So I just feel that right now, let's just all come together, love one another, and let's move forward.
I echo that. I stress that we hear you. So switching gears, let's hear from an ArundelBiz that I am really excited about.
Yes, today with us we have the co-founders of Humdinger Productions. Can you guys introduce yourselves and give us a quick overview of your company?
Yeah, thanks for having us on. My name's Kacy Jenkins. My wife Alexis. We've been in business since 2008. We were in the former event industry, I guess it was.
Yeah.
That's our main niche, and that's our main kind of thing that we've been doing here for years. And with the current situation and everything going, we've been doing some pivoting and some moving and trying to help the community in the same time and kind of keep our employees going, keep the lights on, and keep everything going. So.
Awesome. Yeah, this is a really timely podcast as we're actually recording on the first official launch day of our Customer and Employee Protection Grant. So that's what we're calling the CEP Grant, but we'll dive more into that in a couple of minutes. First, I want to know how Humdinger Productions, the event side, was started. I studied music business in college. Shout out to the music management fellows at Smith School, and had a record label internship in Nashville. And Grayson's a huge music aficionado, so we're super interested in your stories.
I was actually kicked out of a lot of R&B groups. No.
Nice. Well, yeah, so Alexis and I met working for a local business, a venue, Ramshead Live, when it opened in Baltimore.
Oh, yeah.
So she was the marketing manager and I was the production manager, and that's where we met. So
Awesome.
We were there to get the venue open and learned a ton of stuff, met some great people, figured it was time to kind of go out on our own and venture out. We weren't even married yet. We were still just dating, and we started this new business. And just kind of luckily enough, we had done a good job at Ramshead. We were able to bring them over as a client, which is pretty rare in this day and age to leave a full-time job and bring over that employer as a client. But, you know, kudos to them. They saw what we were doing and they wanted to be a part of it. So we started with that, and really we were kind of doing both for a while, and it just got to the point where Alexis and I got enough clients where we were able to break off and start doing this full time. And then with that, we just started doing any event we could do, anything from a book signing to a birthday party if we wanted to, tons of colleges.
Wow. Yeah.
That's really a good niche, is give away all my secrets, even though there's no events anymore.
What made you want to start a business yourselves? I mean, that's a lofty thing to do these days.
Yeah, and I'll talk, but she'll have a much more to say about that, because if it was still me, I would still just be touring with bands, or still just out on the road being an independent contractor. But that's where the entrepreneurial spirit of Alexis came in and said, we need to establish this. We need to do this on our own. We have a value. We need to make this so that you are a commodity and I am a commodity and our business is a commodity, not just another independent contractor. And thank God, however many years later, that we did that, because I have a ton of friends and colleagues that I totally respect right now that are out of work, that would never be out of work. I mean, these are the number one audio engineers in the world, the number one lighting designers in the world, you know, guys that are designing stages for Madonna that are out of work. So,
wow.
You know, because they don't have anything else to pivot on. They've only ever been an employee of that band or an employee of that vendor or that lighting company or whoever it was. So, you know, I really have a lot of respect for Alexis on that vision and seeing that so far away, of establishing this and, you know, making sure we had proper insurance, making sure we had proper things in place to eventually hire people, starting a payroll company that we could bring in people for touring under our umbrella and employ them and give them benefits and give them retirement and give them these things that they're not getting as just an independent contractor from a band that's going out for 6 months or 6 weeks or 6 days or whatever it is. So she had that vision, and we were able to get some really good people under that umbrella. And from there, it's such a small industry that we were able to infiltrate, and really just the word just spread. So
Alexis, sounds like you keep everyone running over there.
I think that, I don't take my foot off the gas. I try to leave it on the gas. I'm afraid of what would happen if I do. Because, I think it was as soon as we met each other, I think I probably came on very strong, because I was like, well, this is what we're going to do. Like, I was like, we are going to have a turnkey event business, and we're gonna work in the we're gonna go out on our own, and we're gonna work in the concert, and we're gonna still be able to work in music. I mean, and this is 2000. And we did it in a recession. So we did it in 2008.
2008 we started.
Yeah.
So I think that it's just it was just. You just have to trust your gut. And I think that that's what we did. And I knew that, like, together as a team, I think just being in an office with him and realizing, like, this is a partnership. Like we can work together, and like when we come together, we can think of ideas, and we can meet the right people. And it was like alchemy, right? Like it just felt right.
That's cool. What are some of your favorite standout events over the years?
A few events that we were hired to work on under bigger umbrellas that I can think of. When the Pope came to Baltimore.
Oh, wow.
We had some work with that, building the stages and things like that at the stadiums. We've done Preakness for years. We've done the Jaeger stage at Preakness, which is always a really cool event to see from start to finish. We've done Broccoli City the last couple of years, which is amazing to see that brand and that just that all the other things. I mean, everyone only sees the concert, but Broccoli City's got some really cool forums and conferences and empowerment movements of entrepreneurs and things like that are just bigger than going to see Cardi B or whatever. Like it's a bigger umbrella. So those are the things that I think, as I'm getting older and as a dad and that kind of stuff, where being like, wow, that was really cool to see Prince, right? Okay,
wow.
Really cool to see Prince at the arena during Freddie Gray stuff, during it's just trying to put more just more cultural and more timely timestamps on these events, which is, I think as we get older, we're just looking for more in these things and more to keep us motivated. Because, this is every first weekend in June, we've done Capitol Jazz Fest at Merriweather. That's
a great
3
one.
years, right? And that's, so I was saying this earlier in the truck, is, I can timestamp my whole summer, my spring and summer and fall based on events. I know when Preakness is, I know, and I can, And right now I couldn't tell you what day it is because I don't have those events to kind of timestamp where we're going. Like I always know, oh, I got the 4th of July coming up. Okay, after that, we've got this coming up, you know, and you kind of can feel where you are in life, you know, through those events over, you know, 10 years or whatever. So
now it's like, what month is it? What day is it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know about you events wise. I mean, what you think? I mean,
I think for me, like what I've liked is when we put our money where our mouth is, and we've had our own events. You know, we've tried our hand at our own festivals, because I think it's important, you know, when you're going out and you're saying, I can do this event for you, you know, but it's somebody else's money, and it's somebody else's somebody else is holding the bag at the end of it. You know, it's one thing to be able to carry it out. Carry it, like telling somebody else you can do it. But we've also had our own events. Like we did Chessie Jam at Pier 6, which was a children's music festival. And we did like Amps and Ales for the last several years. You know, which was our own, like, you know, our
own risk, our own liability, our own everything. So yeah, I mean, a lot of that is just, you know, we've seen a lot of events that we don't have the control to make them how we want them to be. You know, or they don't have the budget, or they don't have certain things the way that here's really how it should be done, and then here's how we can do it, you know. So I think we wanted to do an event where we wanted to do everything the way that we wanted it to be, and then showcase it and photograph it and timestamp it and document it. And you know, it's also marketing for us, because how do you go market putting on a concert? Or, you know, like, hey, you know, call me if you want to rent a concert. Like, nah, it doesn't really work like that, you know?
Challenging.
I think part of it was that was our marketing materials, you know, to go out and take pictures, and also keeps us in the community. You know, we've met a lot of people, a lot of other vendors and food truck guys and other things that makes us better for our clients on their events. Oh, remember the guy that we met doing Amps and Ales that had these 7 food trucks? We can bring him out for your event. You know, so it kind of got us back into the, you know, the local community, doing it in Anne Arundel County, trying to get all the businesses involved. And, you know, and it's really helped, I think, our outreach in the county. And, you know, not to jump the gun, but with all the new stuff going on, being able to double back and say, remember us, we did this well. Here's what we're doing now. We can do this well.
Right.
You know, it's proof of concept and
because that's what events is, really. I mean, and we've looked at our current situation, like with the pandemic. I mean, it's an event, right? Like that's how you have to look at it. You have to lean in to the event and figure out what
manage it.
Right, and manage it, and kind of like try to realize, okay, what's everybody going to need? What are the safety concerns? What has to happen? What has to happen in order for our world to come back? All of these things have to happen in order for events to safely come back. So, I mean, if there's one restaurant that isn't, you know, that doesn't follow like protocol, I mean, that they're screwing it up for everybody. So as long as we put out to restaurants, here's what we could do to help, like, then we know we've done our part. Like, look, we can print your signage. We can bring in your, you know, we can get you pantry door openers. We'll get you your acrylic shields, like at least locally, right? Like, I really believe, like, think cosmically, act locally, right? Think globally, act locally. So, you know, we're just, you know, to the best of our ability, we just want to be a resource for the community and take our skills that we've learned producing many high profile events, you know, because we don't have that right now. So, I mean, but we can still be an asset to our, you know, to the other businesses. And I think that's what I love about events. And I also think an event like a Money Power, I think for me, like what another one of my favorite events, and it's Money Power Day, and it's in Baltimore, and it serves, you know, it serves minorities who,
So financial fitness fair is what.
Okay.
And I just feel like, you know, it's events like that. And it's not even the fact that, you know, that it's the fact that we've been asked to come back and do that for like 11 or 12 years, right? You know, we got canceled this year, but I mean, just being able to have that, like, because we're still gig to gig, you know, I mean, and we have, and we're able to, you know, I mean, I think a lot of people were really shocked when we first saw, like, I remember March 11th when basketball got canceled. I knew, I looked at Kacy and I think we could be facing bankruptcy, right? Like, this could be the end. Like, this could be the end of us. Like,
if you're complacent.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good point.
Yeah.
And you're smart. And I mean, I think it does go back to what you were saying. Like, you've built yourselves in this community, and brand, like that is brand recognition. People trust that.
Yes.
People can trust you. They know that they're gonna not be screwed over on PPE equipment or whatever you provide them. So I think that's really.
It was a huge risk. I mean, when we saw that this was happening, we knew the supply chain and how it was working, and we put it out there and took a chunk of money and stocked a ton of items so that we could honestly say, this is in stock. Because that's a big problem right now. Oh, it's in stock. Oh, it ships today. Ships from where? You know, like, okay, 21 to 28 days. Well, we just had some deliveries that literally just UPS, the truck got looted. And
Wow.
they're saying the packages are missing. We don't know where they are. So it's like this, you know, we had to really get out in front of it, get this stuff in stock so that if someone said, you know, like on Friday when they said, hey, you guys can open at, 5 o'clock or whatever it is, those restaurants had less than 24 hours to get themselves a menu, staff, food ordered, PPE in place, distancing in place, ice, like all this stuff, and then be able to then put out a decent product and give good service and have masks and sanitizers.
So much.
I mean, it's crazy. And then on top of that, they're dealing with what they've been dealing with. So that's why we're really trying to be a resource, pivot, survive until these events come back. And, it's not much different than what we've been doing when we really drill down to it, right? I mean, we have an entrepreneurial spirit. This is an entrepreneurial opportunity. They're all opportunities, no matter what they are. They're all opportunities, good or bad. And
I think you guys took it a step further and you changed your name, or you just have a new website, kind of maybe go.
Yeah, we wanted to keep our brand recognition of Humdinger as your turnkey event place to be. But we also knew that starting a whole new name and all that stuff we wouldn't have the time to ramp that up to be able to get the word out there. So we wanted to host our own site with our own products on it so we could send that out there, but we weren't shying away from that. It's, powered by Humdinger. Our email address is Humdinger. You call the office at Humdinger. It's stocked at Humdinger. We really wanted to drive that point home that it's still Humdinger, but we don't want you to like, oh, what was that place where I could get acrylic shields from? Humdinger, and then they go to Humdinger site and they're looking at concerts or stage rentals or, that kind of stuff. So we really knew that we had a small window on, getting an opportunity to get in front of people. So we kind of wanted to get this name. The domain was available. Alexis built the site on the weekend.
So what's the name and what's the site? Just so we'll have it up so that people can go there.
So it's infectionmitigation.com. And everything that we have listed on there, is in stock or is pending delivery to our location.
And it's all says it. If it says it's in stock, it's here. You can come pick it up.
Awesome.
Oh, okay.
So we really wanted to drive that point home that, we know how these business owners are. Oh, you need something? I'll run out to Restaurant Depot and get it. Okay, you need something and you're on the fly. Come on and get it. We're here. We're here 9 to 5, 5 days a week. We had a restaurant call us on Saturday, and that's what we met them here and we gave them thermometers.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, the thing about it is that you guys have done a lot of concerts. You guys have done a lot of what's your biggest concert that you've done?
So my better half had to run out and take a call, but I think, geez, I mean, we've been at them all. I mean, we did Wiz Khalifa at Red Rocks, which was really, I mean, which is just the view.
Oh, wow.
The view is amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we've, I mean, you name it,
Right?
Lollapalooza. You know what I mean? I mean, we've gone out to California and there's really amazing festivals that are days long. That it's like, and to be working it is a totally different feel than to be there, as a concert goer. I mean, you're in work mode and the band is in work mode. So he had a really good question.
Well, we have a running competition or joke in the office about who likes Drake and who doesn't. I think you guys have worked on Drake, right?
Yeah. We went out and did Drake's very first live show ever.
Oh,
Wow.
And then we worked with him for a couple of years. So yeah, he's an amazing individual.
So what is he really like? Like what is
Exactly like you see him.
really?
He's 100% genuine.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. It's good to hear that, because you got a lot of stars that, you know, they put out the front, but then behind scenes they're hell on wheels to work with. So
No, he's
you know,
100% genuine. He's almost too loyal to a fault at times. He's got some guys around him that he knows are dragging him down, but those are his guys, and they were there for him when, you know, he wasn't. So, you know, and that's a common theme.
Sure.
As long as you can keep it down to 2 or 3, we can manage that. It's when you got 10 to 12 that we got to have a talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They come on the road, and, you know, he gives them a job to do, and that's fine. And he should have that comfort. I mean, you know, if that's what makes him feel good out there, then that's fine, especially this day and age. But yeah, he's a great guy. I knew he was going to be a star. He knew he was going to be a star.
That's cool.
I mean, the very first show we played was at Slippery Rock University in Pittsburgh, around there, and he flew in on a private jet. And it's the very first show he's ever played.
Oh my God.
and it was Wayne's jet, because Wayne was locked up at the time. So
Yeah.
it was Wayne's jet. So he was Young Money at the time. Drake,
Yeah.
he was making the money for everybody. Nikki wasn't up yet.
Right.
Wayne was locked up, so he was paying the bills for Young Money. So he got the jet and he got everything else. But yeah, I mean, I'd never seen a kid that's never played a show before rolling on a private jet to a university and a gymnasium.
Wow.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, but that was just his style. I mean, everything he did was he treats everybody with the top of the line. He wants the top of the line. I mean, you guys see this now. I mean, This was 2010 or whatever. So or whatever it was. So it's like he's always wanted everything the best. Like, why can't I have that? Why do they have that one and I don't? I need that one. I'll work for it.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's, I'm sure you've said this, but what we've learned the most from some of these guys is just the work ethic.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
Mm.
And I know they have a small window to make this money. And I know they get pushed and they get overworked, but, you know, it's a tough gig when you're on the up and up and you're coming up. It's a lot of people to answer to, a lot of money thrown in your face, a lot of deals that people are trying to get in between, and get their hand in it. You got a lot of hands in your pocket. You know, the fact that we don't hear more problems from some of these kids coming up, I'm shocked, because it's a tough gig. And the guys that can sit there and treat their crew well and treat the venues well, and those are the guys that are still out there working.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I always did that when I was a rapper back in the day. I was Lil Ed. I was Lil Ed, Lil Economic Development. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't want to do it yet. I don't want to do it yet.
Episode 2, we'll do that. We'll get into that.
Right. So where did the name Humdinger come from? I hear there's a good story about it.
So, my grandparents raised me. My grandfather was part of that amazing generation of like World War II, right? So he was born in 1915. He's Sicilian, and he was around for he was here. I mean, he passed in 2013. So he saw us starting a business, and that was always his. That was always his line, right? Like, you guys are Humdingers. Like, you guys are you guys are a Humdinger. And it's just like, it's just something. It's just a
throwback line that like we just latched onto. That I was like, man, no, that's such an underutilized word, and it means so much.
Cool.
And I don't know. We just thought it was cool.
I like it.
And we needed to decide something, filling out paperwork.
And it's like, okay. I mean, for us, it's also like, what are we going to be like? Events like Maryland event. I mean, I don't know. Like, it had to be different, right? Like, I guess that's a blessing and a curse that need to always stand out and be different. And but it makes you memorable.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So now, can you talk about a little bit about some of the new projects that you've taken on, some of the new things that are out?
Yeah, so we've kind of pivoted in 2 avenues. One, we really tried to. So in the event part of the business, we also have we build a lot of the fabrication stuff for the event. So if you need a hedge wall or a photo op or a prop or you know, a brand experience thing where, you know, T-Mobile wants a house that you can walk in and look at, you know, that kind of stuff. We build all that here. We have the machinery, we have CNC machines, and we have large format printers that, you know, we've only ever used for our own projects. Well, when all this stuff happened, we thought of, well, what do we have that has some value that we can do? And all these printers and all these amazing creative people that are here and all these people that are home, we're like, we got to get into this yard sign stuff and these, you know, do some props for people's front for their properties, or, you know, their drive-through parties or whatever this is. So graduations, yeah, I mean, any of this stuff. So we've gone down that road, and gosh, we've probably printed hundreds and hundreds of signs that we can drive around in Arundel County now and kind of just point at them. All the 2020 graduations and all those things, you know, all the school ones, you know, hundreds at a time. And, you know,
I love the ones you did at, I live up the street from Sailor Oyster Bar, and I saw that you did that one. That's a good one.
That was cool.
So we've kind of gone down that avenue of what do we have immediately that we can, as a service, that we can fill and, you know, keep the lights on. So that's really been great. It's, you know, it's a lot of work for smaller margins, but
yeah,
it's there, and we've got people working, and the machines are running, and we've got commerce, we've got people, you know, buying, and you know,
still working in that idea of like a celebration, right? Like it's still, you know, we're
someone's event.
It's, might be small, and that's the way that we're looking at things. Are kind of constricting, and it's like, okay, well, we're still, you know, we're still helping people to celebrate and to the best of our ability.
And then the other avenue we went down is really getting into going back to the infection mitigation stuff, is just starting to consult and stock items and go out to these businesses and talk to them about how they can distance and what we can do and what kind of acrylic shields we can put up for, you know, who did I meet with? An esthetician who wanted an acrylic shield over the person's head, but they could still get their hands in there. That would open up both ends. So we're getting a lot of custom stuff like that, which is what we live for, is the creative stuff to, you know, finding a solution to a problem. I mean, that's what we do. Yeah. So meeting with the manicurist, and, you know, what acrylic shields to put your hands through that protects them. We're working with Somerville on doing any of their social distancing. These are floor stickers that are textured, so they can put these out for their showrooms. You know, textured material like this that you can put out. All this stuff for the doors.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
So, you know, we've been blessed to be able to get 20 Thomas Somerville showrooms and be able to go in and put them and get them, because they care about their contractors. These are just their pickup windows. This isn't even to like their showrooms. This is for the day-to-day plumber that needs stuff to feed his kids, to go do the jobs that he has on the books. And they're putting the money and spending the money on acrylic shields and sanitizer and proper signage and, you know, things like that. So we're just trying to get people know what they can do to do their part. We 3D print these door handles, so they fit on. So then you can, you know, take your arm and open it up.
Very smart.
That's good stuff.
So, you know, this is all a great point that you bring up. Like, these businesses need to make these adjustments and get creative, and maybe hopefully have a little bit of fun getting creative. But our CEP grant that just launched today, this is a good time to mention it, because I mean, the businesses that are making these improvements can use this grant, use this money to cover those costs. So it's a grant of up to $10,000. I mean, you have to show us the invoice or show us what you're going to buy. So you can go to a company like Humdinger and say, oh, well, we need this brand new custom made shield that you're talking about, like for the esthetician, or the markings on the floor to keep social distancing in place. Like, we want to help promote the health of the county and make sure that everybody can still open and be safe. But we recognize that this is a hard time, and these companies are going to open, and they haven't been open, and revenue is down. So this is a good time to just make these improvements and hopefully get it covered through our grant. So that's on ArundelBiz.org. You can find it under our COVID-19 resources, and then apply. We just recommend that you follow all of the FAQ and the eligibility beforehand, because
I think it's an
easy
program. Yeah, it's a great program.
easy application.
Yeah, I think just introducing that to these businesses is such a lifeline right now, knowing that you've had no revenue for however many days. You don't know when people are going to feel comfortable coming back out. We've been fortunate enough that people have been sending us what they want or what they need, or we've been able to go consult with them. We've been able to put a quote together for them and then submit it with their application.
Oh, good.
So that people can actually get exactly what they want, exact dollar amount. The county knows that all the pricing is universal, so we're not gouging the big guy, and everything is on the up and up, and they're able to actually get exactly what they want, which I think is important, because a lot of people are, oh, I'll take $5,000. They don't know what that's going to get them. Like, let's go in and figure out what you exactly need. You might only need $2,000.
And we don't have minimums,
Yeah,
so
you want one mask? Come get it.
Yeah.
Like you just want 10 sets, 10 packs of 10 wipes. Like, sure. Like, I think that's part of what we like. We just need to stay nimble. This isn't a money grab. I mean, this is all just like, it's we're all in this together.
It's a stopgap, we hope, and we hope we help people and also stay afloat, and just try and really promote getting rid of this, getting rid of the virus, and at least mitigating the virus as much as we can, and try and get to some sort of normalcy, whatever that's going to be. And if the new normal is shields and masks or whatever, then let's do it with some flair and some class, and let's make it not look so. I've walked into some, and what started all this was, walking into some gas stations or some places and just seeing this cheap piece of acrylic tied up with a shoelace to the ceiling. And, I feel bad for the guy, because he's trying to make it happen and trying to do it. But, I see the workers' arms are cut from reaching under the acrylic, and it's sharp. And it's just like, we sat there and we're like, this can be better. We can brand these. We can have their logo on it. We can put on there, stay back 6 feet, or, we can put nice sides on there. Like, it doesn't have to be so crude and temporary, because this thing isn't going away for a while. So we got to learn how to live with it. We got to learn how to mitigate it. And we got to learn how to get the most out of your space, get the most out of your money, and get, what you can, get your clients feeling comfortable.
And normalize it.
A lot of it's optics, right? A lot of it is the customer just want to know that you've made that effort. Okay. I see that they have that. They have a pump at the door. They have wipes available. They have shields up. They see a door opener. Okay, this owner cares that, to get their customers back out. And that's really what we want to be a part of, and have it look, your store doesn't have to look like a hodgepodge, Mad Max looking, Thunderdome type store. We can. Thomas Somerville wanted nice black sides. They have a green logo right on the corner of their acrylic shields. And, they have that in front of their registers, and it looks amazing.
Yeah, bring a little swag to it. Like, let people know you care.
Right. This is our new aesthetic.
Yeah.
And same with how can they contact you?
That's you.
So, infectionmitigation.com or humdingerproductions.com. I'm always available, and
our cell phones are on the website. You can find us. Anything through Instagram, Facebook, any of that stuff. We're available.
We're here. We're here at Humdinger every single day. Monday through Friday, at least 9 to 5. So so we'll make it work. However, if somebody wants to text, if they want to call, if they want to email, if they want to drop in,
We've got masks and we've got everything else. So if you want to meet on site at your property and walk through it, we're happy to do that. Obviously distancing and taking all the precautions, but we're happy to meet you on site in your space and really drill down to what you need, how you can stretch your money out, how you can get the most out of your grant. The CARES Act is for you. So take advantage of it, and kudos to the county for earmarking that money for these businesses. I haven't seen it anywhere else of anyone that's been doing this. So I think it's really cool.
It's so pro-business, and it speaks volumes. And we thank you for everything that you two have done.
Well, are listening to our businesses, we're just working behind the scenes as hard as we
Yeah.
can to make sure they have what they need, because our hearts obviously go out to all of you entrepreneurs.
Absolutely.
Such a tough time.
Absolutely. Now, I want to get to a fun question before we go. I hear a rumor. There's some rumor that says that
Somebody in our company might have started it. I don't know.
yeah, I don't that you guys are descendants of the actual Anne Arundel.
Not me. Is that you?
Yes.
You are?
Yes.
Oh,
Oh, you didn't even know that?
yeah, royalty.
We unearthing new things.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So,
Uh-oh.
so I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess as you know, maybe it's serendipity. But my aunt and my uncle, you know, they did like 23andMe. They got really into the family tree and started working down the line, and they called my mom and they told her, they're like, you know, we are like, you know, we're descendants of Anne Arundel, and they live in Pennsylvania. So it didn't really like mean as much, right? To my aunt and uncle. But then my mom texted me, and I was like, wow, right? Like I was like, is that
They live where?
they live in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so it didn't mean anything to them to be a descendant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And
That's crazy.
so she's never stepped foot in America. She never lived. I mean, she's from, you know, I mean, she's from the UK, like she's from the United Kingdom, and she's never stepped foot, you know, in the US.
Oh,
And yeah, so I don't know. It's, I guess you know,
They're her
and
spirit animal.
yeah, she's my
that's
spirit.
cool.
From her spirit. I don't know.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's a cool little fact.
Yeah.
So do we have to like address you by that now already?
He's royalty.
She's gonna have the rose petals like in Coming to America, like the rose petals coming out.
I'm the queen.
Well, do you guys have any last advice or last comments for people to keep in mind?
I mean, we've early when all this really started early on. I think it was really easy to just crawl into a hole and like, you know, hope that I'm gonna cover up and it's gonna blow over and then we're gonna pop back up and baseball will be on, basketball will be on, graduations are happening. You know, I think that it's set in now that, you know, this is gonna be a long haul and we're in it, and there may be other things going on, and I just feel like take advantage of these opportunities as an entrepreneur and whatever you can do to try and pivot and survive. And, you know, it's not only our family that we have to, you know, worry about, is we have all these employees and their families, and, you know, they're having kids, and, you know, we need to make this work. So keep smiling, you know, keep using the resources. I would say the first 6 or 7 years that we had this business, I mean, we didn't know a Wes or a, you know, anyone from the county or from the state. I mean, what I think we've really learned is make your relationships with your tribe, right? Your people in your county, your state, and, you know, wherever, and, you know, get involved in decisions that are being made for you. They're being made for you, so you might as well be involved in them. Reach out to these resources, because like I said, the first 6 or 7 years we were just on our own. We didn't reach out to anyone. No one knew who we were. We didn't, you know, we were busy. We were making money and didn't need to advertise or anything, but make a relationship with your bank. We learned that. We learned that through this. You know, we had a good relationship. So when PPP came around, it wasn't like, oh, starting all over and being behind the 8 ball. We were in. It was in that day. You know, when this loan comes out, it's in that day. ELID comes out, get it in that day. Like, you gotta be nimble in this stuff. You gotta be fast. You gotta make your relationships. Make it with your bank. Make it with your landlord. Make it with your insurance company, because your accountant. You're gonna have to call them at some point and say, I got these 5 bills. I can pay 2.
Yeah.
Who
Right.
wants?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, or what can you do? And, you know, and honestly, everyone's been great.
And we're here to stay. I mean, we've planted a flag. We feel here to stay. You know, we're not going anywhere. So I think that, you know, when you're in and this area is kind of transient, you know, but when you start a business, you know, it's kind of saying, no, we're going to be here for a while. So to your point, yeah, like get involved to the degree that you feel comfortable with, and just never, ever, ever, ever give up.
Even if it's just a relationship, you know, just knowing someone or having to reach out to, because I mean, there's lots of opportunity out there within these government programs and grants and banks, and there's things out there, and if your ear isn't to the street, you're going to get left behind.
Yeah.
Great. Well, Anne Arundel County is really lucky to have you guys.
Absolutely.
We did it.
Thank you.
All right. Well,
Send me that demo.
What was that?
Send me that rap demo, Grayson.
Listen, I got you. It's I'm pushing 40, so it may not, but I could still make it ring off a little bit.
We can do anything over the internet now, right? You can do internet performance.
Okay.
Right?
Put a filter on my face, get all the gray away.
Put the mask on.
Exactly.
That's it.
Listen, we can make this happen.
Hey, come on, see us.
I'm excited.
Appreciate you guys.
On that note, thanks guys for joining us. You can check out all of our podcasts on all of our social media accounts. So that's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, on ArundelBiz.org. So check out all of this recording as well as all of our past ones. We've done a couple quarantined episodes, but we're looking forward to more and just to talking to our local business owners. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
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 Thank you.